Dear me, to the kiddo that I knew first, to the young boy with brown eyes and curly black hair, to the most simple and pure friend I've ever known, to the beautiful soul who always believed. Dear Carlos Adrian, it's crazy how fast the time has gone. You were minuscule when I first found out about you. You grew up in a small red brick house in West Orlando. You were the center of my world. You loved to race in your first red car with a yellow top, no windows, and room for your legs to hit the pavement. You raced with the tiny cars you held in your hand as you made the vroom sound on the rug in your first room. You raced as you ran from the driveway down to the sidewalk with the legs you were given, as fast as you could try. You sprinted towards the future as far as you could see. And here we are. I've always admired you. Your crooked teeth made me believe you could chew through walls as high as the beaver in the tree. Your 4 eyes made me feel you could see through glass as blurry as the rain on the lens. Your skin was caramel, brown, soft, and mostly clear, but imperfect like candy. You were my childhood friend. What made you happy was Toby, your first 4-legged canine who showed you how to play. He too was like you and here by circumstance. What an amazing soul. You played with kids down the street as small as the grains of rice like the ones that Mommy loved to make. Mommy always hugged you. Mommy said she loved you. Mommy showed she cared. Daddy always played. Daddy said he believed in you. And Daddy was always there. Years later, you grew from minuscule to small. You transitioned from tiny clothes to slightly bigger. You moved from Mommy and Daddy's bed to your first very own. It was twin size, but it was all yours. It was so exciting when you could finally sleep on your own. You would think to yourself. You would have dreams as big as the ocean, like the one Mommy and Daddy crossed from Puerto Rico. And you would have nightmares as dark as the pitch-black nighttime sky when you would look out of the window. As you sat in your room each day and night, the biggest question I pondered was, who were you? One day, the ice cream truck was close. You heard the sound as it jingled outside. You raced as you craved the sweets in your stomach. You ran in front, and you blacked out. That's all you would remember for a while. You woke up and you looked around. There were IVs in your veins. You were confined to a bed that was foreign and strange. You were in the hospital. Mommy and Daddy said you were hit. They almost lost you to a car. Their only son was almost gone. You made it through. You persevered. You were given another chance. You returned home to be free. I'm so glad you did. Toby ran away. Was he scared, or was he lost? Or was it you that he feared? Did the hits from the clothes hanger make him want to disappear? Perhaps he didn't know it was a child's way to play. Perhaps he would forgive, but the mystery would remain. You would later meet Rico, your next 4-legged friend. It was him who would be there for you, perhaps with no end. It was him you would see through thick and through thin. It was him who would be the one to be ultimately given. Were you not good enough? Or was he not good enough for you? Or maybe Mommy and Daddy had another plan for you. You went to private school. You pondered thoughts while never sure. Mommy and Daddy surprised you with something bigger and more fur. You wore your uniform with pride. You always wanted to fit in. You moved to public school as you saw your oily skin. You were the new kid, the cool kid, the fastest you could be. It was time for a new city called Ocoee in a new house with a huge TV. It was December to remember. It was Christmas time that year. A gift was given that would never be forgotten. A furry black lab with a thick coat and droopy ears. It was Flash. You and Flash were inseparable. You would grab the leash and go for walks sometimes for hours on end. You would go to the park and play. He was practically your best friend. He never left your side. He was always there for you. He ran as fast as you, if not faster when he tried. He always raised his head and gave his paw when you cried. What a good boy. You went to middle school. You met kids you never knew. Were they like you, or were they different? It was hard to see through. Some said they loved you. Some said they cared. Some would talk trash. Some would bully as they dared. You had to show command. You had to show who's boss. You had to be the king, no matter if you had been lost. You were Carlos Adrian, the biggest and the wicked. You even got expelled for the punishment you inflicted. Was it worth it? Perhaps so. If not, nothing would have changed. You had to be sure, no matter how dark or strange. You went to private school again, until you transferred out of town. You moved to Claremont, or Gem of the Hills. There was so much land, green and brown. As you heard the wind blow, you wished you'd fly away. You felt this pain inside that you just couldn't escape. You went to public high school, in a secluded place, and as you grew each year, so did the hair on your face. Who were you? Were you Carlos Adrian by choice? Or was it decided by fate? Your favorite color was red, to show passion over hate. You were 5'8", on 5 acres. The solitude drove you crazy. I could have rescued you, if you weren't such a big baby. Instead, you turned to words, to be your greatest escape. The pen was your hunger, and the paper was your plate. No one understood you more than me, and maybe Flash. Each breath you took brought out demons from the past. You met Coco, so brave and so bold. Your newest furry canine who had a fur and heart of gold. Why couldn't you be like them? Was it impossible to be? Or was it just that canines didn't feel broken and ugly? As you stepped onto the steps of the mobile home you knew, you looked out for the nails to avoid the hurt that it could do. You were so cautious after every person saw you, and every time they did, you would question why they tried to. You wanted to be seen, but you felt you never were. You were like the woodchuck who was buried deeply in the dirt. The years passed as a confused and troubled teen. You finished high school. You were ready to be mean, but not just to those that knew who you were. You were bitter to me and to strangers on this earth. Was it because of fear that they wouldn't be like you? Or was it fear itself that they could be like you? To the child, to the adolescent, and to the man that you became, I am your protector. I am your king. I will rinse you of the pain. I will rinse you of the days when you said your name in vain. I will rinse you of the places that will cause for rainy days. As you breathe, as you lose hair and get wrinkles on your face, I will always be your friend until we leave for sacred place. I look back at your journey. There's no doubt you won the race. To me, in first place, because I found out who you were. I was you yesterday, and I'm you today, and I'm truly proud. You inspire me. You're spectacular, and you always will be. Never stop believing. Never forget who you are, and never stop being Carlos Adrian. Sincerely, yours truly, me.